to start off, number one, we have unemployment. Now, unemployment is getting out of control already. I wish I could show you a chart about how ridiculous it's getting. Much worse than 2008, much worse than 2001. We have about like 3 million jobless claims in the last week, and the number is only going to get much higher. Not only that, the bill that was passed, the stimulus bill, and the unemployment section of everything is just absolutely absurd in my opinion. They're talking about giving people an extra $600 per week for people who are unemployed because of the coronavirus. And while that does sound great if you're unemployed, it just kind of causes a problem with people who do work and people who don't work. I mean, people who don't work, they might be making more money not working, collecting money from the government, than people who are working. And if you're getting an extra $600 a week, I mean, with all the driving, if you ask most people who work, I mean, I think they'd rather stay at home and collect a paycheck than be working. So I think then people who are working, they're going to be starting to demand a higher wage for having to be in an environment with the sickness. So that causes, a big conflict right there. And like I said, the unemployment number is only going to get higher. There's some states, there's about 10 or more states right now. I know Florida just today is doing a lockdown. So there are still states who have not done a lockdown. They still are employed, and now the unemployment is going to continue to rise. So that's a number that you want to catch every Thursday. Make sure you find out exactly what that unemployment number is, and of course, I'll be covering it right here on my channel. Number two, the uncertainty with, of course, the coronavirus. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about this, but no one really knows when the cure is going to happen. If we're going to, it's going to take months, years. Is this worse than the Spanish flu? Is it better? Is it worse than the regular flu? Is it better? There's a lot of uncertainty. The third one we got here is the debt. I mean, we got debt all the way to the roof. I mean, you're talking about debt over here, debt over there. We got student loans, we got mortgages, we got car payments. I mean, people are financing their TVs. I mean, you name it, the debt is just everywhere. So, I mean, how are we going to pay off all this debt? We're going to print a bunch of money from the Fed, give everybody a $1,200 check, and just think that everything's going to be great. That's not going to work. I mean, just the housing market alone, I'll probably talk about it in another video, but I think the housing market is going to pop, and that kind of just goes into people not working, and landlords not getting paid and going to the lenders, and then the banks at the end of the day, who's going to bail out the banks? The Fed. So I think all that's going to burst. So if you're trying to buy property, hold on for a little bit. And then the last little bonus reason why the stock market's going to continue to fall and why we're going to see lower prices, it's going to be the technicals. Right now, we have support and resistance at about 2,300 and about 2,700 on the S&P 500. And we're trading right in between those two levels. And I think if we break we're about 2,400, I believe, today. If we break below that 2,300, it's pretty much just a sliding downhill from there is what I'm thinking is going to happen. So, of course, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going short once again. I'm about up 25% since all this happened. I'm doing better than the market, so I'll take it. So I'm shorting Macy's. I went heavier today on that. That has been a great short for me. I mean, when it's good, it's going down. When it's bad, it's going down more. So that one's good. I'm dipping my toes into Fossil right now. That's another, high-end apparel and jewelry and usually in malls, which I think malls are really going downhill. So I'm really trying to get into apparel mall stocks that don't have a good online business. So that's, and of course, a weak balance sheet is my criteria that I'd like to go for. So just what I'm doing, not any recommendations. Obviously, do your own research as well. And then I'm going long on gold, of course. I'm going long on Alibaba. I'm going long on Gold Money, which is a great, I think, something that could be, huge potential. So look into Gold Money. And then I have some reverse ETFs. I have EMTY, which is a reverse ETF of retail brick and mortar only stocks, no online. So that's pretty much where you want to be as well. Reverse ETFs are a little bit different, but it doesn't use your margins, so you can only lose as much as you put in. So that's cool, especially if you're a beginner to shorting. That might be a good kind of segue if there's money that you don't want to lose, because obviously when you short, you could lose infinite amount of money. So it's very risky, but in the right time, right place, I might dabble in it a little bit. So it's working out so far. So I'm gonna just try to keep my eye on the ball and just see what will happen. So obviously, thank you for watching. If you watched all the way to the end.